Very much. Let me begin by wishing you a very happy International Women's Day, and thank my sister Smith-Ariar and Dr. Mabel for inviting me to be part of this important symposium. I just want to say that what Rwanda has achieved in terms of women empowerment and ensuring that we deal with that specific problem that we're discussing of climate change, it all begins at the level of institutions, and very critical is political will. So globally we have a number of decisions from Beijing Declaration, platform for action, then we have SDGs, we have decisions in the AU, decisions at African Union, Commonwealth, and so on and so forth. But I think the challenge we are facing is reluctance. We need to face the status quo. We have all the instruments and tools to empower women to be able to resist all these challenges that we're talking about. And in 2003, when we passed our first constitution a few years after the genocide, the provision in the constitution for women to be in parliament was only 30%. 5 years later, the number went up to 46. Another round of elections from 46 to 54. The following cycle, 64, now 61. And we didn't change the constitution. The reason why the numbers went up is precisely because women demonstrated unusual capabilities to deliver and perform for their constituencies. And therefore, it is a question of opening this heavy curtain that is blocking us from seeing the potential we have among our sisters and mothers and nieces, those who are educated, those who have skills, to be given the capacity to unleash their potential. So it's a question of political decisions at global level, global institutions, regional institutions, and national institutions. Since I have a very limited time, let me go direct to the question that was put to me to say how Rwanda has been able to empower women to be able to be effectively resistant to climate change. There are a number of policies that have been put in place. If you look at the 2017, the Green Growth and Climate Resilience Strategy, it places women at the center of its programs. The 2019 Environment and Climate Change Policy clearly emphasizes the role of women. Our National Strategy for Transformation from 2024 to 2035, you see across the spectrum of all programs and pillars of the strategy, the role of women. So the issue of gender mainstreaming in all these programs is very clear. And what is called gender responsive budgeting is not rhetoric, is not theoretical. In our own situation, you have to make sure that you have clearly shown how this is going to impact on women. Because we have a women minister in planning, we have a women minister in agriculture, women minister in trade and industry, women minister in technology. So everywhere you go, the minister in charge of cabinet affairs in the prime minister's office, everywhere you go, you will find women present there, and they want to verify and check if you have included every single aspect of empowering girls and women. Now, particularly on agriculture and the activities that are undertaken by women, what does an ordinary, normal woman in rural areas in Rwanda do every single day? As a former Secretary General of United Nations put it, they are the masters of our resources because they deal with water resources. Rural women in Rwanda and any other country that is in developing process, they wake up early in the morning to go and fetch water. How do you help them? So we have had programs to empower women by providing alternative sources of water, like rainwater harvesting systems in place to make sure that they have water, potable drinking water at their homesteads. How about food in agriculture? The support programs that are in place to make sure that they deal with the drought and floods. The programs are in place and are supporting specific women. And you see, for you to be able to achieve this, you have to disaggregate the data and know exactly which groups are affected by what, and therefore you design the program according to a specific problem rather than having an umbrella kind of a program that does not necessarily address specific peculiar challenges that are faced by women. They deal with the forests, they deal with the terrain, the soil conservation, like our country is mountainous, so if you don't empower women with the skills, retooling them, as I said, to make sure they know how they practice the agriculture that is climate smart, they can't be able to practice those techniques. So I think providing skills, making sure that they have access to financing, that's very critical. For instance, those who are in the agribusiness, women, they have what we call BDF, Business Development Fund. Because they don't have the collateral, how do they borrow money to develop their farm so that they are part of the agribusiness and also the whole supply chain. So there are, because of shortage of time, we have a number of tools in place, financial institutions that have created all those resources, the access to property. It was a nightmare for a woman to have a property. Even when you are married, your husband passes away, the in-laws will come and say, sorry, our brother is gone, this is our property. It's not anymore. If I buy a piece of land today, the title is going to be printed showing 50%, James Kimonyo 50%, the spouse. No question about it. So the access to property also gives them the capabilities to borrow money and be able to develop their farms. Then you add skills, because now when you look at one piece of land, a man is likely to have 15% more productivity than a woman, and therefore what do you do to be able to bridge that gap? So those are the things that we are trying to do, and we are seeing dividends of empowering women, and we are very happy with what's happening in Rwanda. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.